be able to do both, hopefully.
Kirby, this time of year, or in season, how much time do you have to self-evaluate? Or does that tend to be just after a season?
No, I think you always self-evaluate. We self-evaluate. We do quality control, offensively, defensively, special teams, what we're doing, especially in an off week, but you really do it every week. When you talk about after a game, first thing we do on Sundays, we come in and say, all right, what could we have done different in this situation? What could we have done different here? I think that's important to growth and getting better. I think being your own critic is very important, and that's kind of the football system I grew up in.
Is there anything that's jumped out at you that you could share?
Well, I think that when you look at things, obviously the biggest glaring thing to me is the special teams. We've got to improve in that area, and I think that's a major concern from a depth standpoint. We try to play, a starter on every special teams, and we start with punt and kickoff as the two primary ones. And when you look at our punt team, I think we got, I don't know if not every guy out there is a starter, and we try to put that to be the emphasis because it's a change in possession. We don't have a lot of depth on kickoff coverage. When you look at it, there's a lot of good players on there, but we've got some better players that we're going to try to put on there. But when you got starters out there, it's usually tough. Malcolm Parrish is a guy. But that's the biggest, when you talk about self-evaluation, it's what can we do better in the kicking game to improve our situation in each game.
How about,
very important.
I'm sorry. How about self-evaluation in terms of yourself or your coaching staff in terms of either what you guys are saying or how you're conveying it to players?
Yeah, I would say that you look at that always, how you're doing things, but the message that's being delivered, that doesn't change, which is that we need to improve as a group. We need to improve as an offense. We've got to improve as a defense. I mean, we tell the kids all the time that it's not just them, it's us. And it's very important that they understand we can improve, they can improve, and everybody can. It's a joint effort, and I think that's really important that they know that they've got that relationship with you. I don't really know what you're asking.
Well, there's so much noise out there right now too, coming off a bad loss, going into an off week, going into a big game. Be careful how I word this, but only 7 games into your first season, people are wondering, whether you're overmatched as a head coach, being the first time. I mean, how do you deal with all that stuff?
I don't deal with it. I focus on us getting better, and I think that's the most important thing, is that with this job comes criticism. I'm accepting of that. I've seen it. I've seen it with good friends. I've seen it with programs I've been in. That doesn't scare me. What I'm worried about is our team and our players developing and getting better, and that's the most important thing, to show the fact. And look, I think every game's come down to the fourth quarter with the exception of Ole Miss. So every one of those games could easily have gone either way, and that's SEC football. Welcome to the world we live in as coaches. So you've got to figure out what you can do best and better to give these kids a chance to be successful. And I think that comes through a lot of things, through confidence, through improvement, through recruiting. There's a lot of areas that we're going to improve on. But am I questioning myself? No, not at all. I think you have to look at what you're doing and figure out there's a better way, but everybody's doing that. You're always searching for a better way. It's a constant pursuit of that.
Kirby, can I try and piggyback on that a little bit? You said in your introduction that you were going to be hands-on with everything. How did you approach that? And have you kind of evaluated, do I need to step back on some things or what?
No, absolutely not. I think I got to be just as much hands-on on everything. I think that the parts that I'm hands-on the most would probably be the defense and the special teams. The offense, I get to spend time there, but there's only so much time in the day. I spend time, I watch every practice clip that they have when I'm not over there, see the game plan. I'm not in the implementation of the game plan, but I think that's important for the offensive players to see me over there. It's important for the offensive coaches to say, hey, look at this cut up and see what they're doing defensively. And that's kind of how I've grown up seeing it, how I've been a part of it, and how I've seen other head coaches do it, the guys I've worked with, so that you're involved in everything. But certainly I feel comfortable with where I'm at. Being with the defense probably 60-70% of the day. That's where I'm most comfortable. The special teams doesn't go on while the offense and defense is going on. We get to do that kind of separate because we've got a whole staff of special team guys. Every coach is involved in special teams outside the coordinators. So, that's not hard to do. The hardest thing to do is get involved in the offense.
Is there any kind of balance that comes with being that I guess with those groups that much while delegating certain responsibilities to your systems?
Absolutely, there's a balance, and I think that balance really has been reached. I feel comfortable with the amount of time I'm able to spend with each component. If you said there's 3 components, which is really more than that, because there's recruiting staff, there's a lot going on. But with those components, I'm completely comfortable with my balance of how much time I spend with each one. We've got to do better in each one. We've got to perform better in each one. We've got to execute better. We've got to get the young players to play better. We've got to get less penalties. There's so many areas that we can improve on, but it has nothing to do with the balance of time that I spend.